give Mr. President A+ based on the several things such as appointment of Supreme Court judge, consumer confidence, strong stand on immigration and terrorism.
I give him an F because, as we expected during the election, he has shown during his administration that he's not a president for all.
That's how our community grades US President Trump's first 100 days in office. Today we're checking with our panel of immigrants to the United States on what they think of the job he's done so far. I'm Femi Oke.
And I'm Malika Bilal. Our immigrant town hall guests last joined the stream on the eve of Trump's inauguration, where there were some pretty heated discussions about what lay ahead. So, whose predictions panned out? Stay tuned to find out.
Despite downplaying the importance of the first 100 days, US President Donald Trump has lauded his time in office. According to the White House, he has signed more than 30 executive orders, successfully appointed a Supreme Court judge, and taken several steps to follow through on his campaign promises. Trump supporters appear to be happy with the president's work to take down several of his predecessors' policies on taxes, healthcare, energy, and government excess, just to name a few.
Across the aisle, though, the opinion is very different. The Trump presidency has been filled with resistance to the man himself, his cabinet, and his policies. Grassroots organizing is surging, and donations to institutions dedicated to fighting his agenda are record-breaking. Protests have made up some of the most significant moments of his term, from the Women's March, which brought millions to streets across the globe, to the travel ban demonstrations, which filled U.S. airports.
We're getting to many of those issues today with our guests, and we're happy to have back with us in our stream town hall, Loida Jorge, an immigration lawyer. Her family originally from Mozambique, immigrated to the United States from France. Jeannie Nguyen is president of the Voice of Vietnamese Americans. She came to the United States as a refugee from Vietnam. Jesse Singh is founder of Sikh Americans for Trump. He immigrated to the United States from India.
Saba Ahmed is president of the Republican Muslim Coalition. She immigrated to the United States from Pakistan. Myra Campos Segura and her husband, Anthony Segura. Myra immigrated to the U.S. from Mexico. Anthony is an American citizen. They have some pretty different political leanings. And AJ and his daughter, Sana Siddiqui. AJ is an accountant and immigrated to the U.S. from Pakistan. Sana was born in the United States. Welcome, everyone, to the stream.
All right, so we're talking grading and an adjective for the last 100 days for President Trump. Sana, what's your grade? What's your adjective?
My grade is an F, and my adjective is disparate.
AJ?
F and confusion.
Saba?
I would give him a B, and I think he's been very decisive.
Anthony and Mayra?
I give him an A-, and I would say mixed.
Aha.
I give it a D, and my word is dangerous.
We've got from an A- to an F in the studio, Jesse.
A+ and awesome.
Ooh. Loida.
I give him a D because at least he showed up to class.
Oh, okay. And your adjective would be what?
Destructive.
Jeannie?
I give him a D-, and the adjective is scary.
Oh, what would the grade average be? Probably be somewhere like a C-ish, D-ish. Okay.
D.
Malika?
This might sway that average a little bit. This is Renee Jolie. F, the adjective is Trump is unprofessional, flip-flops on many issues, doesn't speak truthfully, and I fear he will begin an unnecessary war. Several things there for me.
See, Anthony, you were such a big fan of Trump's administration, President Trump. How are you feeling right now, sort of 100 days into this administration?
The reason I said mixed is because I think he's done an excellent job so far. However, the liberals are keeping him down. If we could get those people off the stick and get things going and help President Trump, we're going to accomplish a lot.
Loida, would you say you were a liberal?
Liberal,
Right-leaning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this idea of this resisting, is that, do you think, what Anthony is referring to?
I'm not clear what he's referring to because, I mean, we have a democratic system where folks from either end of the spectrum have a right to speak up and share their dissent. That's part of what makes this system work. So I'd love to understand what he means, especially if the right controls both houses and the White House. So what exactly is the left doing that's not allowing President Trump to do more than a B in his perspective?
The problem is they're coming out and the haters are hating and they don't give him a chance. That's the biggest key.
But that doesn't stop him from doing what he's doing.
Well, you have judges who are liberals who are blocking everything that, executive orders, not letting him. This is the first time the president is facing so much resistance from all angles. And we have liberal judges who are not judging, who are just having lunch with President Obama a day before they make decisions. And their decisions are all swayed by their political leanings.
President Trump is not really waiting for anybody to judge him. He just tweet his way along, and he scared everyone. It's very scary because he could drop missiles in the middle of Syria. And then
actually, that was the right thing to do.
Well, whatever
because
you think
it
is right,
restored
but it's
America's
scary to
pride.
many of us.
And
it's
it
not
restored.
right.
It sent a very strong message to Syria that no chemical weapons will be tolerated. And Obama should have done that 8 years ago when the chemical weapons were done. Obama should have done that 8 years ago.
No, that
what
was
President
wrong.
Trump did.
We have a branch of executive
even the refugees from Syria are saying President Trump did the right thing.
He's doing very wrong things to our countries. He disregarded our values, our laws, our constitution. He disregarded our foundations. This country is an immigrants country, and he disregarded the fact that we value human rights and we value the press. We value freedom of speech. That's very important.
So what
he just did whatever his will.
Violated? What human rights did he violated?
I'd love to hear a question. What's the question? Go ahead.
I mean, this is directed towards anyone, but Jesse, I was wondering, why do you think there is such a big resistance? I mean, it's not just from right-leaning liberals, it's also from moderate Republicans. So I was wondering, could you talk a little bit more about why do you think there is such a big resistance to this presidency?
The resistance is from liberals because they're acting like a child whose candy has been taken away, and they can't get to terms that Donald Trump is the president now.
I'm not the liberal, and I'm resisting.
Hold on. Let me finish. And the resistance is the majority of the electoral college vote have chosen him as a president. We need to give him a chance. The press, the fake media from day one has been criticizing him for everything. If I ask you one question, you won't be able to say if he hasn't done anything right. You will have a hard time saying he has done anything right. Even his family, his daughter, everybody has been ridiculed by liberals that we have never seen this in the past before.
That? Now that's a joke.
Oh,
Obama was torn apart consistently.
And
to that end about the executive orders being curtailed by judges, the right wing consistently...
So you think Obama was wrong too when he made, in his 100 days? He faced resistance.
We're not talking about Obama. Obama's not president.
You brought him in. You just brought him in.
No, you're saying that we've never seen such resistance and criticism. That's why I brought Obama up to tell you. We have very much seen
when
that.
Frank Schumer, a liberal New York...
Let me just bring this up. Just give me a moment. I guess the reason why AJ and Sana brought up the idea of resistance is this is what Sana was doing a few months ago. She was actually out there at the Women's March. And then, let me just show you this picture. Anthony, I want you to lean forward and have a look at the computer. Do you recognize this protester?
That's my wife.
It's your wife.
And she's free to do whatever she wants.
Right. Mara,
that's what's great about this country.
Mara, what were you doing and why?
Well, I think that Jesse is right when he is saying about that Trump is getting now a lot of people versus his ideas. And that's right, because that ideas are wrong. And the main thing is that since the first day, like he said, it's right. Since the first day, he started to do everything wrong. He started to act like a king, not like a president, not like somebody that is representing this country. So the people start to see that everything that he was saying was a lie. Until now, he is lying in everything that he was promising to everybody. The wall, the health care, he gonna put in jail to Hillary Clinton, other thing that he couldn't do. Everything that he was talking about the Muslims, all the things that he was saying in the past, now is just the past. So where is the thing that he was promising the old people that follow him?
Let's have a look let's have a look at Town Hall. Let's have a look at healthcare, because that was a major issue, and that was in my first day one, actually. But in my first 100 days, healthcare is going to be an issue. I am going to get rid of Obamacare. How did that work out for you, Jeannie?
It didn't. I mean, he did not get the repeal the first time, which is good for me and many people that I know, because I know a lot of people who were relying on the Obamacare. I have a very close friends of mine, close to my heart, who had breast cancer and bilateral mastectomy. And without Obamacare, she would not receive any insurance from anywhere. And for a year or two before Obamacare came about, she had no insurance. So when Trump was elected, she was very worried that Obamacare would be repealed. She prayed every day. But now that Trump is saying that he's bringing it back,
Jeannie, let's just
scary.
have a quick reminder about what President Trump said about healthcare. Have a look at this.
I've been saying for the last year and a half that the best thing we can do, politically speaking, is let Obamacare explode. It is exploding right now. It's many states have big problems. Almost all states have big problems. So Obamacare is exploding with no Democrat support. We couldn't quite get there. We're just a very small number of votes short in terms of getting our bill passed.
So AJ, you heard what the president said there. I want to share, this is a tweet from our community member, Trendsetter. He says, the failed healthcare bill exposed divisions within his government, and that, in this person's view, is the biggest failure. But I actually want to pivot a little bit into what the White House says of its past 100 days. This is a tweet from the White House itself. In its first 100 days, POTUS has renewed prosperity, safety and security, and government accountability. See more, and you can see the link right there. This is what our community thought of that, AJ. It's GIF form. Work done in first 100 days, nothing to see here. Now, was healthcare a highlight for you in the fact that he was not able to repeal Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act? Or was there something else that you think was a highlight of these past 100 days?
Well, here's a president who has majority in the Congress, if his party, and he still couldn't do anything. His party was opposing. The only reason he couldn't do it is because there were Republicans opposing it. His ideas were not the right ideas. That's why people were opposing.
Let me jump in there and tell you that Republicans and Democrats, there's a difference. Republicans think they're not just sheep herd mentality, they just don't follow each other. And there might be a breaking news later on today that the new healthcare bill has been passed because it's going back for voting again.
Jesse, what do you know? What's your intel?
You should know it. You know, the news is out there. They're still trying to bring it on, and it might be on today.
It might be.
Yeah.
Or it might not be.
It might not be, but it might be. So, you know, it can be done. So let's not just boggle down on healthcare. In first 100 days, he has added $3 trillion to the economy. He has put Justice Neil Gorsuch to the Supreme Court, a 49-year-old young judge. He's on the Supreme Court. Our illegal immigration has gone down by 61%, and he has not even put one brick on the wall yet. And the American pride, which is, you know, priceless, by firing those 59 missiles on Syria and telling the world that we can, you know, America is back. We're not going to tolerate anything against human rights violations and chemical attacks on Syrians. That in itself is a very big thing. Every time he has brought back so many companies, he has brought back so many companies back. Carrier, Ford, Exxon has agreed to make the largest investment in U.S. economy.
Town Hall, let me just bring in Saba. Hello, Saba. What do you want to add?
Sure. I agreed with Jesse. The strong defense policies and foreign policies by the Trump administration have set the agenda for his administration for the next several years. And I think it has sent a strong message around the world that the red lines will be enforced. Unlike Obama, who drew those chemical weapons red lines and he never enforced them, we see new leadership at the White House that is willing to take action. And he's not going to sit around when people use chemical weapons. And similarly, the other side, the economy has prospered just tremendously over the last several years, and several months. And in terms of the healthcare reform, he did mention that they're only short a few votes, and I don't doubt at all that they won't be able to accomplish that in the next several months. It's on their agenda, and it will definitely come back for a vote.
So you mentioned the economy there. I also heard Jesse mention the economy. So I want to play a video comment we got from someone. This is Republican Hindu Coalition member, and she seems like she agrees with you. Have a listen to what Sasala Challa told us.
I give A to President Trump. Tax reform. It helps the small businesses and brings more economic confidence. Buy American, high American. This will boost the economy with more jobs. Neil Gorsuch. It is one of the best Supreme Court appointments. 300 billion pound bill to Angela Merkel for NATO defense, which was audacious. China putting a brakes on North Korea.
So, AJ, you're an accountant, as you've already told us. What do you make of the proposed tax reform? Because it was a list of things here that Sasala talked about that were successes. What do you make of that one?
Well, it's short of details, and 2 pages and there is exactly 7 numbers in that major overhaul of the tax system. So this was just what I would say a sprint to the finish line. That 100 days before that, he wanted to issue those 2 pieces of paper, which he issued. At this moment, it doesn't really mean anything.
Well, I would like to tell AJ, AJ's accountant, he likes things to be complicated and lots of numbers in there. And Trump is trying to, President Trump is trying to simplify our accounting system and make it easier. And, it's very simple. He's reducing the tax brackets from 7 to 3. He's reducing the corporate taxes to 15%. That would bring trillions of dollars back into our economy as our companies have parked these monies in other countries where there's less taxes.
That was wishful thinking, because even his companies in China, in Mexico, in Canada, even in Russia are not coming back to the U.S.
Whose companies?
Even Ivanka,
President Trump doesn't own any company in Russia or China.
Because the taxes only help the 1% or 5% of the big corporates. That's not right, because it's not helping us. I know many small businesses
when a tide comes in the ocean, when a tide goes up, all boats go up.
That's the wrong one.
If big ships go up, small boats go up too. So when American economy grows, all of us get benefited from it.
Are you actually listening to each other, or are you just talking in tandem? What did Jesse just say, Jeannie?
He said that trickle down, when the tide goes up, everybody benefit, but that's not true. That hasn't been true for the Americans. Because we only have 1% rich in this nation.
Have tax reform that will help.
And before the tax reform, he already cut the budget for cut budget for welfare, and cut budget for many social benefits.
I think
so everything's been cut.
So that's not right. Legislation,
and I think
we'll have to see as it plays out.
Watching TV
there were 3 tax rates.
Anthony, hold tight for a moment so I can hear you one at a time. AJ, finish up. Go ahead, AJ.
They only issued 3 tax rates in this paper, and no definition of how much income would be applied to each tax rate. So it means nothing. They're just saying, oh, there is going to be 3 tax rates. Well, yes.
He has shown the income. He has doubled all the income from $6,400 to $12,500 for the first bracket. All the slabs have been doubled.
That was not issued. The amounts, the values, what dollar amount would apply to what tax rate has not been issued. So that's the biggest thing.
And to be fair, Jesse and AJ, it's still a plan that needs to be fleshed out in a lot of detail. Anthony, what did you want to add?
No detail is provided.
That's why it needs to be fleshed out. Anthony, what did you want to add?
I like the way it is, because this is going to help all business, not just for the rich. I saw an article in the paper today that was talking about it's for just billionaires. That's not true. It's going to help billionaires, but it's going to help the little guy too. I have a friend that's a small business person in San Antonio, Texas, and it's going to help him. It's going to help everybody. So we need to give him a chance. He just started it. And frankly, I'm sorry, AJ, but I want to be able to go on the internet, put my name on a form, push a button, have my taxes done. I'm tired of paying an accountant to do my taxes because I don't understand it. It's too complicated. So it might put you out of business, but that's the way I want to do it.
So I think you can hope that, but that's not going to happen.
Let me just move on a little bit, Jess, because this is an immigration town hall. So everybody, apart from Anthony, comes from somewhere else around the world or has heritage somewhere else around the world. I am curious as to the atmosphere you are seeing in America. Is it different in the last 100 days, Loida, for you?
It's very different from immigrants, for us, especially our community. For the last 100 days, Vietnamese Americans have been attacked to the level that we're very scared. The customers, the passenger who were tracked out of the United Airlines was Vietnamese Americans. He's a doctor. He came here in 75. He was a refugee.
Oh my God.
And it's the law enforcement who tracked him out.
President Trump
now,
for that?
another lawyer, Vietnamese Americans born here, so 40 years old. 40 years old, she was shot in the back. So
That's what liberals are doing now.
Hold tight, everybody.
So he incited the hatred in the population, and not only Vietnamese Americans. I said that because it's close to my heart.
Hold time,
but I have Muslims who were very scared.
Just give me a moment. To be fair, that was more to do with United Airlines policy of overbooking a flight. I'm asking about the atmosphere within the United States.
But there was discrimination in
Jesse
that.
and Jeannie. Loida, you're an immigration lawyer. What are you seeing that's different?
So I've been practicing for 11 years. I've never been as stressed as I have the last couple of months. And it has everything to do with the atmosphere that this administration has created. To be sure, Trump has not been able to change any laws. It's the enforcement of the laws that has shifted. And the nature of the beast right now is there's no discretion. It's kind of the OK corral. Let's lock everybody in this space of fear. For instance, Voice was just implemented today. Voice is victims of immigrant crimes engagement.
So, Loida, Anthony wants to respond to that. Anthony, go ahead.
Well, first of all, people need to stop watching TV, I guess.
Oh, honey, this is all about work.
The sky
this has nothing to do with TV.
The sky is falling, right? The sky is falling. I mean, we're very close to the immigration population here in New Mexico. We're right on the border, okay? The people that we know, everybody's freaking out because they think they're going to be deported, even if they have a parking ticket. It's totally ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. These are not anecdotes. They're not anecdotes.
If you look at the arrest, and this comes right out of the Washington Post.
No,
in 2014, in the same time frame under Obama, we had over 29,000 arrests. Okay, it dropped down the last 2 years. This year, the same time frame, out of the Washington Post, it's been 21,000 arrests.
So if you get really specific about who was arrested during Obama's administration, it was the criminal element. And the issue that we're having right now is that, no, it's not. And it's not just anecdotes. People are being picked
up. It came right out of the
Washington
Post.
That's called rumor mongering.
That's going on.
This is rumor mongering. I have been talking to my
ICE office.
Well, you have a vested interest, and I've been talking to my community.
So, audience, what you're
folks.
hearing right now is the disagreement between people who are all living in the United States and experiencing President Trump's 100 days in a very different way. Malika.
We started this show grading the first 100 days. I want to give 2 ending thoughts from community. This is Mark. He says, beyond the unprecedented corruption, and I emphasize unprecedented, or putting allies in danger, this administration gets an F. On the other hand, this person says, I used to laugh at Trump and doubt him, and now to the horror of my friends and family, I support him.
So, guests, we are not done with you yet. We will be back with a part 2, looking at President Trump's 100 days. The conversation will continue.
And we want to hear what you think of the president's first 100 days. Tweet us with #AJStream.
See you online.